The Tale of Sir Giggles and the Jumpy Jellybeans. Once upon a time, in the lively town of Chuckletown, everything was a little bouncy. The grass giggled when the wine tickled it. The birds sang funny songs like, "Who Stole My Warmth?" And even the clouds in the sky shaped themselves into silly faces to make everyone laugh. But the silliest character of all was Sir Giggles, the world's most clueless knight. Sir Giggles wasn't very brave or smart, but he was an expert in finding himself in the funniest situations. He had one big problem. Every time he laughed too hard, he'd get the hiccup. And when Sir Giggles hiccuped, his armor would pop apart like a jigsaw puzzle. One sunny morning, the king of Chuckletown summoned Sir Giggles to the castle. "Sir Giggles," said the king, barely holding back a snort, "our town is under attack by the Jumpy Jellybeans. They've bounced into the royal pantry and eaten all our desserts." Sure enough, the pantry was full of wiggly, giggly jelly beans bouncing everywhere. They weren't ordinary jelly beans. They had tiny eyes, little arms, and a love for causing chaos. One jellybean even wore a mini crown and was shouting, "We declare this pantry a Jellybean Kingdom. No pudding shall escape us." Sir Giggles, trying to look serious, said, "Fear not, my king. I shall, hiccup, solve this jellybean problem." The moment Sir Giggles hiccuped, his helmet flew off like a rocket, landing in the pudding. The jellybeans burst into laughter, rolling on the floor and making Sir Giggles blush. Sir Giggles decided to lure the jellybeans out of the pantry with their favorite thing, silly jokes. "What do you call a bouncing bean with a bad haircut?" Sir Giggles asked loudly. The jellybeans stopped bouncing. "What?" they chorused. "A jump-cut bean," he replied. The jellybeans laughed so hard they started rolling out of the pantry. But as Sir Giggles tried to catch them, he tripped over a rolling donut, sending him tumbling into a giant bowl of whipped cream. "Oh no," he cried. "Now I'm so sticky." The jellybeans, seeing Sir Giggles covered in whipped cream, couldn't resist. They started bouncing onto him, turning him into a walking dessert. As the jellybeans bounced and wiggled, Sir Giggles realized they loved fun more than food. So, he declared, "Jellybeans, I challenge you to a bounce-off. If I win, you leave the pantry forever. If you win, you can keep the pudding." The jellybeans agreed, and soon the entire town gathered to watch. Sir Giggles had a plan. He put on his springiest boots and started bouncing, but every time he jumped, he shouted silly jokes like, "Why did the bean go to school?" To get a little smarter than the peas. The jellybeans laughed so hard they couldn't keep bouncing, collapsing into giggling piles. Sir Giggles won the contest, and the jellybeans, still laughing, agreed to leave the pantry, as long as they got to visit Chuckletown's trampoline park instead. From that day on, Sir Giggles became a hero, not because he was the bravest knight, but because he knew how to laugh, even at himself. And the Jellybeans, they became Chuckletown's official bounce performers, delighting kids with their wacky tricks. Every time Sir Giggles walked by, they'd salute him with their little jelly hands and shout, "All hail Sir Sticky." And so, Chuckletown stayed the happiest and funniest place on earth.